Een bezoekje brengen aan de ISE in Amsterdam is iets waar we iedere keer weer opnieuw naar uitkijken. Ook dit jaar is dat niet anders. We nemen jullie mee voor een korte impressie en als kers op de taart krijgen jullie een interview met Mr. ISF himself, Joel Silver. We're here at ISE at the Canon booth talking to Colin Boyle. Canon is not that well known for home cinema projection, but there's a small thing that caught our eye here and you're sitting next to it. Can you introduce us to that machine?
So this is one of our compact installation projectors, which is the ZWux 500, which was released last year just after ISE, so it wasn't featured last year. So in some ways this is the first time it's been seen publicly in this way, but it's been out on the market now for some time. Great compact installation projector with a fixed lens, 5,000 lumens, 2000:1 contrast ratio. And again with Canon technology, we're really pleased with this, that it's a great recreation of colour and colour depth and sharp colour across the whole sort of screen, and just a fantastic product which could be used in the home.
The reason why it caught our attention is it uses LCOS panels in combination with a high brightness output. So the LCOS is well known for its fantastic, superb analog-like looking image. So that's a great feature to have in a projector.
Yeah, so it uses LCOS panel technology, but also Canon's got a technology called ASIS, which is the spectral illumination system. and that's Canon proprietary technology, and it's really that which gets the best out of the LCOS panels, and it's also the way they split the light beam with the mirrors and the prisms, and because of that you get a much smaller form factor, and it's that really which brings the true colour out of the LCOS panels.
Again, Canon is well known for its lenses and its objectives, so the lens in this machine is probably one of the finest lenses also.
Yeah, as you say, it's true that Canon's got a history and a long, 75-year heritage of lens quality. So this has got a Canon lens quality in here, so you can be sure that actually what you're putting into the projector, you're going to get the quality that you want delivered out to the projector.
Some nice things to have. It has HD-based-T like connection. That's a great thing to have. And another small thing is it has edge blending built in the software of the machine.
Yes, so it has edge blending built in, as well as HD-based-T, as you say, but it also has a PC-less edge blending function. So this means you can actually use JPEG images on a USB plugged into one projector, and you can connect up to 9 projectors just by a LAN cable. And you specify IP addresses of each of the projectors, and it allows you, as well as doing normal edge blending, but to choose just the section of the blend and to choose any corner of that blend to independently adjust to make sure that the edge blend is perfectly done and the light dims on that blend to ensure that your blacks come out black, not grey, and your colours not washed out.
So no fancy external video processing needed, just the projector and a LAN cable and you're all set to go.
That's right, so all the processing power that you need is in the image engine in the projector itself.
Colin, we have a very special setup behind us. It's a curved screen with 2 native 4K projectors projecting 60 frames per second. Can you tell us a little bit about the setup that is being used here?
Yes, this is our brand new 4K 500 ST projector, which, as I say, is native 4K. But in fact, it's higher than 4K. It's actually got a resolution of 4096 by 2400, so over 9 million pixels. But what we're seeing on the screen behind us here is 2 of those being used blended, and it's got a special function on here which allows you to change the focus of the edges of the screen without changing the center point. So when you're blending 2 projectors together, that's really key to make sure that the focus is right across the whole screen. But also it's got a fixed F number, so it's 2.6, really good depth of field. And as well, depending on what you're showing, it has the facility to be changing the contrast ratio. So if you're showing stuff which is very dark and you want less brightness but you want a higher contrast ratio, you can mechanically change the iris to take the contrast ratio from 2000 to 1 to 2500 to 1.
So if you want to go all the way in a home theater system with a curved screen and 2 4K projectors, this is the way to go.
This is definitely the way to go, and again, as you say, 60 frames a second. You can be sure with the Canon 4K lens and the Canon LCOS technology that actually you're going to see the media exactly the way it was meant to be viewed.
So the image that we're looking at right now is a time-lapse that is created by Canon photographs.
Yeah, so this is time-lapse which was filmed on a Canon 5DSR by one of our ambassadors, Simeon Quarry, and he filmed this all around London, as you say, 60 frames a second. So each of these images is a individual 4K resolution TIFF file, and this is being shown at 60 of those every single second.
We talked a bit about the data being used for making this kind of projection. Can you quote the numbers again for us, please?
So we've partnered with this one with AV Stumpfel, and they provide their Wings server, which is processing all this, and this is processing that amount of data is 3.2 gigabytes of data every single second.
So not something you can put on a disk or a memory stick, a thumb drive and project at home at this point?
Not at this point in time, but who knows what the future will hold.
Thanks very much. the Meridia booth talking to Joel Silver, Mr. ISF, as we can say. Joel, can you tell us to the viewers why is it necessary that a flat screen or a projector that comes out of the box needs to be calibrated?
Well, it does not need to be calibrated unless you want a good picture. So what we are dealing with on professional electronics at Disney or CNN is a wall of monitors. The monitors come as close as we can get them to perfect on the professional side, and they come ready to be calibrated. So our calibrators at Disney or MGM or CNN Center will go to work before the engineers and the artists come in, match all the monitors to standards set by an organization called the ITU, which is merely 193 countries agreeing on something like the color of white or red. So we have standards. We build products as close as budget demands to the product standards. So on the broadcast side, a 24,000 euro 20-inch monitor comes reasonably close, calibrates in 20 minutes. A consumer television, starting at maybe 300 euros, going to 5,000 euros, is nowhere near as close. So we have ISF modes in about 30 million televisions a year. They, like broadcast monitors, are engineered for calibration. So if you're fortunate to have calibration services available in your market, you are finishing the job in manufacturing on site. Now, what don't we know when we manufacture a TV? We don't know your room lighting. We don't know your source. So what we're going to do is to tune the TV to your room, match it to your sources, and if the manufacturer did a good job on designing the circuitry and adjustments in the TV set, it will look very close to the broadcast monitor and standard dynamic range high definition. Now, if we can digress for a minute, there's a rather revolutionary device coming to our eyes called high dynamic range.
Yeah, we're talking about 4K and HDR, which is coming up right now.
4K was the first hint of ultra high definition. So if we go over the immediate history, we told you many exciting things like 3D, it's going to be wonderful. Well, a little less than wonderful, we crashed and burned. Then we told you 4K was going to be 4 times. Oh no, make it 8 times the resolution. And you looked at the picture from normal distances and it looked the same. But you bought 4K because all the TVs that are big are 4K. Not a big difference unless you sit close. High dynamic range incorporates more colors. So personally, I went to the Galapagos Islands to shoot pictures of animals in reds that I could never shoot before in high definition. I can now shoot them in wide color gamut, which is part of HDR. I now can make the TV dramatically brighter, not as bright as the broadcast monitor, but dramatically brighter than anything you've seen before. So having more color and more brightness is visible from across the room. This will be, for the first time, something we're going to tell you that's really, really better. When you look at it, you're going to go, oh, it is better. Now,
no matter what size TV you are on, because HDR will look better on any size TV or projector size.
I've been showing wide color gamut since 2011 on a 17-inch laptop done by DreamWorks, the studio. Across the room, 20 people in a class on a 17-inch laptop, they go, oh, that's better. Now we're showing it on a real TV. So wide color gamut, WCG, is one improvement. High dynamic range, increasing the whites when the scene is bright, collapsing the blacks for more contrast, that's interesting. A little hint of the future, the schedule for 2018-2019 is HFR, high frame rate. Now, not that we haven't made progress, but on the continent we've been watching 50 pictures per second since 1936. It's time for improvement. Now, in 1939, the Americans went to 60 pictures per second. We're still watching that. So we're going to go to 100 pictures per second here on the continent and 120 in the States. Now, that will not make a huge difference in a movie like The King's Speech or soap opera. But on the Olympics or football, it will look three-dimensional without being three-dimensional. So these are now major advances, and all this is part of the original UHD document from the United Nations in 2012.
So if we're talking about HDR, there's a little bit of confusion because there's more than one HDR standard, as to speak. So you have Dolby Vision, you have HDR10. Which of those?
Technicolor.
Yeah.
You also have Philips, and in surround sound, in Dolby, I have regular Dolby, Dolby True HD, and now Dolby Atmos. And then I have DTS and DTS-X. They're all wonderful, and they're all good. So we're going to have the BBC version of HDR. This will be called dynamic, high dynamic range. Now forgive me if it's redundant, but it's the BBC. They're allowed to be redundant. There's one plan. Yeah. Okay, we also have Philips and Technicolor now working together. And then we have Dolby. All these are good, and I don't care what the system is. They're all an improvement. And if people ask me, which one do you like better? they're all tools for the creative artist. So if you're going to see a movie that's done beautifully in surround, it's because the sound engineer did a good job, not because it was Dolby or DTS. So in HDR, it's going to be the creative artist, the colorist, the cinematographer. These are tools for the next generation of viewing. It's fun. So I get asked all the time, which one do you like? I said, well, show me the movie. I like all of them. They're better tools. So these are going to be what we're going to look back on one day and say, oh, those were the good old days. Well, forgive me, I'm actually going to a Dolby Vision cinema. We're going to go see a 6P laser projector, and this is the first one showing here. There's only 6 in the world, but this is the future of cinema. So cinema is going to go HDR and wide color gamut. So forgive me for a short interview, but I'm going to the movies.
Have a lot of fun.